Tending My Faith, a testimony by Jeff Chu. 2 Corinthians 5:7. For we live by faith, not by sight. I've noticed something about my generation, especially those of us who grew up in the suburbs. We want to grow things. Sometimes we'll sit in our yardless New York City apartments and dream about being farmers, raising chickens, or cultivating herbs. I have a little house in the country where every month or so I can escape from the city for a few days, buy a couple of bags of potting soil, and get closer to realizing that fantasy. There's a garden patch out back where a random selection of plants, raspberries, a little rhubarb, some chives, were planted years ago. Last spring, I was up at the house for a week and decided to experiment with a few more things. I added some thyme, some rosemary, and cucumber, peppers, and chard. Well, I'm no gentleman farmer. Those of you who are more familiar with growing things may laugh, but on a subsequent visit, I learned that my little plants were still mostly, well, little. The thyme and rosemary turned out to be hardy, but the cucumbers were small and malformed. The pepper plants had become breakfast, lunch, and dinner for bugs, and I had enough chard to make the garnish for one plate. Even the raspberries were only producing tiny amounts of fruit. I realized that my plants needed regular tending and occasionally special care. That little epiphany led to another realization. My garden patch is rather like my spiritual life. I get complacent, busy, lazy. I'm lax about prayer. I'm inconsistent about reading my Bible. And then I wonder why I feel far away from God. It's been a hectic time at work and in the city, so I'm heading back to my country place soon. During my few days there, I've resolved that I'll prune those raspberry plants and spend time tending to my faith, giving it some of the attention it needs to get back to good growth. Only you, Lord, can grow my faith in my garden.
All I once held dear, built my life upon. All this world reveres and wars to own. All I once thought gain, I now counted lost, strength and worthless now. Compared